And now, I would like to share a story from my childhood. For many years I found writing impossible, although I loved to read. The time came for me to start writing or become very unhappy. In order to write, I needed to find a way to make writing more like reading. So I began to read as I read, slowly, extracting the lines I felt I had written, or wished I had written, or thought I might like to rewrite. Of course, this process must have been wrong somehow, even though I always footnoted and credited the sources. I think I discovered this method in the 3rd grade, when I wrote a short report on earthworms. I copied my report word for word out of the encyclopedia. The teacher told me I had to rewrite the paragraph in my own words. I didn't at that time have any words that I considered my own, and still don't. So I was told to find a second book and to mix the two together. I forced myself to write the report, changing certain words and adding in other words that came from my second book. I discovered in doing this that instead of saying the earthworm awakes in the spring and burrows into the wet earth, I could say once upon a time an earthworm awoke in the spring and burrowed into the wet earth. I could start to make my report sound less like a report and more like an exciting tale of the supernatural. This was no doubt because my second source was Washington Irving's Rip Van Winkle. In this way I produced my first piece of writing, a hybrid, in my own words, although none of them were in fact my own. What was my own was how I read. I don't remember my teacher's reaction to this paper. By some pedagogical miracle, she must have accepted it. To this day I follow this method more or less. I consider the entire library my rough draft. I go in search of lines to add to a paragraph. I pick up a book I feel affinity toward. I look to certain writers for certain qualities. Mostly, I copy and rewrite lines. Then forget where they came from and whether I wrote them or not. I have to track them down all over again when I collect the source notes. Maybe I found the path to my own words in borrowing enough of the words of others. As Calvino said, today I will begin by copying. If I ever did a comedy gig, I would have to start with something fast and loud, a bit relentless, only to then create space and move in to more quieter stuff. Who hears this voice through the filtration of their own voice, slipping through their mind's mouth. The relation is a textual consummation, tongue over tongue, words trickling into dissolution in the sensate, meaning atomized. Where do you live now? London? What do you speak there? English. Where do you live now? London. What do you speak there? English. Where do you live now? London. What do you speak there? English. I would love to be able to say a story, but I can't. The problem reveals itself whenever I need to find some ending. One coherent, simple story that could make others cry, or laugh, or both, or none. There is always something missing in the way I articulate my thoughts, in the way I must expose my imagination from underneath those veils. Movement and pose. It's the same. I always see myself banging against the same closed door. Communication breaks down, and words scatter all over the place. Hi, my name is Joanna. I'm 26 years old and live in Greece. I'm very happy to be here and talk to you today. You see, in my country, we learn your language from a very young age, like I did. But unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to speak it. That's why I'm so happy, because it's the first time I can actually speak in English. Of course, you can't hear my voice. You can only hear her voice, carrying the sounds of my words. Or you can't see my body, you can only see her body, trying to build a bridge between you and me, and unfortunately, I can't see you either. But she can, and she's here with you. What is she wearing, really? Speaking for myself, I'm sure I would wear my green skirt. I'm also sure I would make an effort trying to speak clearly, in order for you to understand my heavy Greek English accent. How is she coping with that? Do you understand her in what I'm saying? It's too bad my space limit is up. I have to wave goodbye now. I will always remember this moment. Kisses from Greece. My voice copies a list of English words. In this certain order, they look something like this. I'm writing slowly, so that the words will come out of you slowly. Now I'm posing. I'm typing. You are speaking. Danae, I am not you. You are not me. You don't know me. I don't know you. You are speaking me, voicing. I am writing you. Danae. Deny. There is something inside you. Me. I'm pushing these words out of me. You, Danae, are there, dragging them out. You are not free. Danae, you are not free. Words are a curse. Words are a trap, or a prison, or a prism. Prism, prison. I'm writing slowly, so that the words will come out of you slowly. Now I'm posing. I'm typing. You are speaking. Then you stop.